Hey guys, Urban Reddit here, back with another subreddit series. Today it's Malicious Compliance. I have 3 stories for you. It's a bit of a long one, so let's get right into it, shall we? This one is called I Started Wearing Dresses to School. I'm a guy, by the way. This was back in the early 2000s. I was living in Georgia at the time, and during the summers it got hot and shorts were the norm. Well, we'd all wear shorts, and girls would wear shorts as well. Some even wore those booty shorts that are really short. Well, being in a conservative part of the country, the school wasn't too happy with how short the girls' shorts were, and over a few years tried different dress codes to get girls not to wear such short shorts. Oh, that's a tongue twister. None of them were 100% effective, so one year the school decided to ban all shorts for both boys and girls. Now, this rule didn't sit too well with me, as I liked to wear shorts back then, so I read the student handbook. Dresses were, however, allowed, and naturally there was no rule saying anything like boys must wear boys' clothes and girls must wear girls' clothes. Now there is one particular trait that I have, and I've always gotten kicked out of getting under certain people's skin and bucking the system, even if that means having to do something that some may consider embarrassing to myself, and I was in 7th grade. So what I did was what any respectable 13-year-old would do, and went home and asked my mum to take me dress shopping. Because I was going to protest this rule, my parents were very supportive of this decision, and I loved it. They did ask me to explain and show them this wouldn't get me in trouble, and I did. So we bought several summer dresses for me to wear that fit within the school guidelines, and I started wearing dresses to school. The very first day I wore my dress to school, I was pulled into the principal's office, and he asked me, "Why are you wearing a dress?" I said, "Because this is me protesting the no short rule, and I'll be wearing dresses until you guys re-signed the rule." He told me I can't wear a dress because I'm a boy. I told him to show me in the rule book that a boy can't wear a dress to school, and guess what? It didn't exist. He then tried to plead with me that this would cause a disturbance, make some people uncomfortable, and might result in me getting bullied. I told him I don't care, I'm wearing dresses until the rule changes. He said, "Have a nice day," and I went to class. Some kids made fun of me, some other kids asked me why I was wearing a dress, and others explained why. This started on Monday. By Wednesday, a second boy had joined me in wearing a dress to school. That Monday, 5 more boys were wearing dresses to school. Now keep in mind, this is in conservative Georgia. Before being gay was really acceptable, etc., and parents started raising concerns both about the short ban and the cross-dressing. On the second week of wearing dresses, we had over a dozen boys wearing dresses. This went on for a few weeks, and I kind of became a mini celebrity. I even had some boys come up to me and confided that they'd join me on a protest, but the dads would never allow it. On the 4th week, the school said I have to be evaluated by a psychologist. Really? I think they were trying to find a way to discredit me. The psychologist basically concluded I was a normal boy with a rebellious side. Actually, during my evaluation, the psychologist actually commended me to sticking to my guns and said this was rubbing the school the wrong way because they felt like a 13-year-old student was strong-arming them, which, to be fair, is exactly what I was doing. 2 months in, my parents and I got invited to a meeting with the principal and superintendent of the school. The meeting was straightforward. They wanted to know what it would take for me to end this protest, as some parents had real issues with a bunch of boys cross-dressing. I said, simple, allow us to wear shorts. I was told it was impossible to change the dress code in the school year, and I said, that's fine, I can keep on wearing dresses all school year. So were my friends. They threatened to make cross-dressing against the rules, and I said, I thought you said you couldn't change the rules mid-school year. My parents had my back, and my dad even laughed at the response of the superintendent, who looked at my dad and said, "You're encouraging this?" And he laughed even more and said, "I'm loving this." Well, the following week, notices went up around school, and every student in the district got a letter that basically said shorts will now be allowed to be worn, and it is also in the guidelines for how short they should be, etc. That day I was pulled into the principal's office again, and the principal said he wanted to clarify that in no shape or form was the fact that dozens of his male students were wearing dresses. Yeah, I bet it weren't. Did that have any impact whatsoever on the decision to allow shorts? I smiled and said, yeah, okay. He then asked me what I'll be wearing the next day at school. And I said, going to pull out my shorts. He seemed happy with the answer, and we all stopped wearing dresses the next day. Seems like a bit of a short ban, but it reminds me of a story that happened here in the UK. A school actually banned shorts for males and females, so what the males actually did is decided to start wearing pleated skirts to school. Eventually the rule did get chucked out and they started wearing shorts again. I wonder if this is where this story come from actually. Makes you wonder. It was in the newspaper if you guys like to look it up. Anyway, on to the next one. This one is called Don't Fix Anything Okay. As I mentioned in the other post, Tales from Retail, I worked better than 30 years in the convenience stores, and the boy the stuff I've seen and endured. However, this story is about malicious compliance, so let's get to it. I have worked for this particular chain of stores for a while and have learned many of the ins and outs of fixing minor problems to keep the store running. Printer stops working, let me check the wiring. Oh, problem solved. Door sticking. I got this. Anyway, I'm tightening the hinges on the door one day when my manager catches me. Now technically, we, the store employees, are not supposed to fix anything. If it required maintenance of any kind, we were supposed to call it in and let the maintenance guys handle it. So the manager yelled at me for fixing the door. Hey Jay, what are you doing? Fixing the door because it's sticking. No, we are supposed to call it in, not fix it ourselves. But manager, it's just some loose screws. Look, it took like 5 minutes. I don't care. We are not supposed to fix anything. We call it in. Period. So I can't fix anything? Not even simple stuff? No. Nothing. Just call maintenance. If I catch you fixing anything again, I'm going to watch you up. You realise that it can take days for them to respond to simple things like the door sticking. She nodded. Okay, whatever you say. I stopped making repairs every time something broke. I filed a repair order, including things like wood trim breaking or a squeaking door. I didn't touch a thing. Maintenance guy got very tired of seeing our store number pop up on the computer, and the maintenance guy asked why I didn't just fix some of them since they were simple repairs or did not really need a maintenance call. Manager said I have to report any repair, no matter how large or small, or I could be wrote up. Sorry. The final straw was when the office pots sprang a leak. Our coffee pots were hooked up to the main water supply, so when one of them started leaking it didn't stop, it just kept slowly dribbling water. I, as I was told to do, made a maintenance request, stamped it emergency and placed some towels to stop the spread of water. I did not shut off the water, which would have been easy because I was told not to fix anything. I told the manager that the pot was leaking and I had called maintenance. She came out of her office, saw the water still spreading, and turned to me in exasperation. Why is it still leaking? Because it's a maintenance issue, and I'm not to touch it per your orders. You could have turned the water off, she said, which she proceeded to do. Nope, sorry, but you said I'll get wrote up, so I'm not touching anything maintenance related. She glared at me for a full minute before replying. This is different. Leaving the water on could cause significant damage, so it's okay to shut it off. Nope, not running the risk since you threatened to wrap me up. I'm not touching a thing even remotely connected to maintenance. I was transferred to a sister station in 2 towns. 2 weeks into I was transferred to a sister station in town 2 weeks later for some reason. I went back to fixing minor issues with no problems with my new manager. Well, common sense, get stuff fixed. That's minor. You don't need maintenance for, and keep the running of the shop going. But no, the manager had to be a asshat about it. Anyway, let's get on with the next story, shall we? It's a bit of a short one, and it's called You Want That Cut as Thick as Possible? Can Do. Grocery shop. I've noticed a lot of these do seem to be like shopping centres. Anyway, let's go into it, shall we? To start, I work in a grocery store daily. Normally it isn't busy and most of the customers are friendly, but there's always that one old lady who has a vendetta with anyone behind the counter. Unfortunately, I just happen to be the only person behind the counter. Me is me, K is Kerry. Good morning, ma'am. Is there anything I can help you find today? Before I could even finish, she cuts me off. A personal pet peeve and immediate red flag. Give me half a pound of yellow mac and cheese, she demanded, and cut it as thick as you can get it. Give me red flag number 2. This is when the gears in my head start turning and I think of that juicy, malicious compliance. As thick as I can. Okay, we have a delicate cheese slicer and it can run chunks up to an inch and a half thick. So, without even speaking, I retrieve the cheese, turn the dial to as high as it will go, and then back some because the slicer turned itself off on the strain if you cut it too thick, and slice off that gold brick before placing it on the scale. By this point the brick weighs about 4/5 of a pound, and Kay is absolutely flabbergasted. With all that too familiar customer service smile, I print the label, put it in the bag and say, "Is there anything else I can do for you today?" "No." She takes the bag and leaves in the hub. About 10 minutes later, after she assumedly went to harass the meat department and whoever else going to be at the customer service centre, Dee, who's the store manager, head hotshot and total pro, came back to the deli and asked what happened. Apparently she complained about me. "Hey, Jellyfish, a woman came up front and filed a complaint about some cheese you got for her. She said she wanted it cut as thick as I could get it." Me and Dee shared a laugh a few seconds and told me not to do it again. Well, I don't know, all that over a bit of a cheese, and I'm guessing what, not thick enough maybe, she complained, or was it too thick? I'm not actually sure. Anyway guys, that's all the time I've got for now. If you enjoyed today's video, then please do leave a like. If you'd like to see more, then don't forget to subscribe. But until then, I shall see you all in the next video. Bye bye.